Hi, how are you? This is Lois from African Immigrant Women Empowerment Program, and I'm coming to you direct from Calgary, Alberta. And today I want to make a video that we shy away from most of the time, especially as immigrant women or even immigrant people. We shy away from these things because we don't want to be perceived in the wrong way. Okay? And this topic is a sensitive one. This topic is money. Yeah? So I'm going to talk about money today, and yeah, come over. Let's talk about money. Which could be true to some extent. But I think people can be successful anywhere, back home or abroad. People can be successful. So I know very many people who are successful back home, and I also know many people who are successful here. Okay? So this should not be construed to mean that you can only be successful abroad. No, you can be successful anywhere. It's your spirit, it's your attitude, it's everything in between. Okay? So what I'm going to say today is when we think about going abroad, we think there is a lot of money. And yes, there could be money, there is money, but this money is not for everybody. This money is for people who come here and they work hard. They keep their work ethic. They work, they have plans, and they are persistent, they are resilient, and they work smart, right? So there is money. But I can tell you there's also a lot of people here who come and they live in poverty. Okay, so just setting that expectation from wherever you are. We have homeless people here. Yes, I got surprised. I wasn't expecting that a first world country like Canada could have homeless people. I'm even told that there's a lot of homeless people, more in the US and all other developed countries. So why am I saying this? What I see with newly immigrated people is there's an expectation, and I don't know whether it's actually an expectation per se. I don't know whether we set that expectation when we get here. Excuse me, because now we came abroad, it feels like, oh, we are just, in the presence of money, right? In the presence of money that we can send and dish, endless, those deep, like we have those deep pockets. I think we either display that or people abroad expect that of us, or, immigration doesn't equal success. No, it's not outright. It's not outright. So I don't know whether it's a success guilt. You feel like, oh, because now I have too much money, more than the other people. And you know what? Money is not success. No, money is not success. There's a lot of other things that make people successful, even like money management, peace, living within your means. So why am I saying this? I've seen people who come here and immediately they start sending money home. And the people back home, they're expecting for money. And I can tell you, actually, there are people, if your parents, they did a harambe or they did a fundraiser and they got you here, some people expect that you're going to be paying back that. Okay. Okay. So I just want to tell you, when people come here, most of them are struggling. Oh my goodness. People struggle here to get a footing. Just imagine when people come, most of them, they just bring a suitcase of clothes and, and they have to find themselves and find a footing and find their identity again here, right? So people struggle getting jobs, and when they get jobs, moving up. And because life is expensive, a lot of people keep 2 jobs, 3 jobs. So these are people who are working so hard. And when you work that hard, please don't be smart, because you cannot afford to work that hard for such a long time. Your body is going to give in and give up. So think about yourself, think about your future. When you work that hard, you also don't have quality of life. You don't have contact with your family. You know, if you have children, you don't spend enough time with your children. So be very careful of the impressions and deceptions we send back home to the people back home, showing them, oh, you know what? We just sweep dollars off the street. We have too much money here. Come on. There are people who have too much money, but they worked for it. And those people who have too much money and a lot of money who've worked for it, they just don't floss it and they don't dish it out. They do things which make sense, and they do the right things, and they help people to get out of bad situations. And bad situations, I'm not saying when you borrow money from the entire village and you want me to bail you out, no. Bad situations in lifting people, you know, providing education. When you lift people to improve their quality of life. Okay? So, if you're sending money home, make sure that that sending is sustainable. Because when you send money, you're new and you start sending money. You know, when you come here, you're just newly here. You don't have many responsibilities, right? You're not paying a mortgage. You're not, you don't have 2-3 cars down the line, right? You're paying insurance for 3 cars and you're home and, and those things, and children going to university and vacations and stuff like that to plan, right? So be sure that the money you send to people is sustainable, because at times people send too much money and they don't even have anything left for themselves. I have seen people who send money and they are leading poor quality lives. They can, poor quality lives here, that they go to thrift stores, they buy their clothes from thrift stores, and they are sending money back home to their relatives who are, who are living flashy. So be careful. I have seen people, and sorry, when I say about this, I think the best thing you can do when you land here is ask yourself, why did I immigrate? Am I in Canada temporary? Am I in Canada permanently? If you're here temporary, in all fairness, send money home. If you're here permanently, think about your future. Think about securing yourself. And I'm going to give a disclaimer. I know a lot of our families expect us to send money back home. A lot of our friends always call asking for loans. If you don't fall in that category, this video is not for you, right? I know there are people whose families don't ask for good for you, but this video then is not for you. This video is for those people who are constantly getting calls of this, of that, of the other, bring money, send money, do that, do the other, I'm talking to those people. So I said, make sure when you send money, it's sustainable, because the more you send, you're setting precedences, you're setting expectations. Okay? Then the people who borrow, there's always people who are borrowing you. Those are exploiters, friends who are always like, oh, you know what? Send me money. I'm building. I don't know. I imported a car. It's held at the port of entry. Stuff like that. My friend, send people to the bank. That's what you do when you come here. When you're in Canada and you need money, you go to the bank. Learn to teach your friends to access money where you access money as well. Send them to the bank to get loans. I'm not saying don't loan people, but when you start loaning your friends, that is usually the end of many friendships. Because once you loan people who are abroad, that money hardly comes back to you. So when you're sending that money as a loan, to make sure you're not going to be resentful later on, send it as a gift. Send money that you can afford to lose. Don't send money and expect that people are going to pay you back. And then before you know it, you have 100 people who owe you money in Kenya or in Nigeria or wherever. And and they're not going to pay you back. No, you live in money. That's the expectation. So don't be dumb. The other thing I say, secure your life. I said, so if you're staying here permanently, secure your life, my friend. Secure, make sure You are thinking about retirement. You have RRSPs, you have mutual funds, you have securities, you have RESPs. I know people who send money back home. They're always sending money. They're sending money. They cannot afford to put their kids in programs here. Football, soccer, music, trips. You cannot afford to put your kids in those programs. And every day you're waving. You look at your web statement and it's full of, you've waved $20,000 in a year. Come on. And you didn't build a mansion. You just waved this, to my cousin, to whoever, to my auntie, to my neighbor, to the chief. You gotta be smart. I've seen people who live abroad 20 years. They haven't done anything because they are busy waving. If they don't own. Secure your life, secure your future. You're not going to work 4 jobs forever. Make sure that you're able, to retire. People work too much. They can't even afford vacation. And they don't even have that money to show for it. Because they're always waving. And you're waving for situations that do not deserve it. I always ask people, do you have food? Are you in good health? Then the rest, they are secondary. Yeah, the rest are secondary. I help where I am able to help. Even when you're flying, they say this. Before you help your child put on a mask, in case of an emergency, be able to put on your mask. First, save yourself. You cannot save people if you're sinking yourself. You gotta you gotta save yourself first before you can save the next person. Stop being saviors. Stop being everybody's saviors. Save yourself. Save your children. Save your future first, because everybody else is busy doing the same. Everybody abroad is busy trying to secure their future. Can you try to secure your future here? Not that every time anything happens, you end up on the street. Why? Because you don't have any savings. You don't have anything. You don't have children's education funds. You don't have insurance. You don't have nothing. Why? You've been waving money. You enable people. Maybe the best thing to do is teach these people to live within their means. The people who are calling you, teach them to live within their means. Also teach them alternative ways of getting money. That way, you keep friendships, you keep people, you're not resentful, you're not hating everybody, and you're not hating your life. Own things. Let me tell you, back home, everybody has a plot. People have plots, people have cows, people, you know what? If you're here, live like you're here. Live like you're here. Live like this is home for you. Live like this is your children's home, future, Live well here. Own things. Stop fearing owning things here in this country. Own things, own businesses. Own this place, for heaven's sake. Own it, Stop feeling sorry. Stop being shy. Stop feeling bad for success, for being successful. Be successful. Go out. Get it. I see a lot of people who are successful from Europe. They come here. This place is full of immigrants. Look at other immigrants from Asia, Chinese, Indians, people who don't even speak very good English, but they've come here and they've owned this place. They are landlords. They own, vast, pieces of land here. They own businesses. They own it. It's okay. It's okay. Let us stop being ashamed. Let us stop feeling like we don't deserve it. Like we are not worth of success. Like we are not worth it. We need to also own it. Own our businesses with, own it. Just own your life. Stop feeling sorry for everything. Right? So, what am I saying? Enjoy, live a good quality life. Help people where you can. But before you help people, help yourself. All right? Don't accept to be exploited by anybody. Yeah? Don't send money if you're going to be resentful at the end of it. Always saying, they're always asking me for money. Oh, you know what? Yeah, don't do that. Teach the people within, people who are asking you for money, teach them to live within their means. It's okay. you're also doing the same. One thing I say, we are here. I tell you, when I get into trouble, I don't call back home to say, you know what, oh, this happened, oh, I need this. We don't do that. We don't get that luxury. We don't get that luxury. So you better make sure then that you're securing yourself here. Okay? We love you all, and I love you all, guys. But this place, I've seen one thing. I've seen people who don't even post things on Facebook. They can't post even that vacation because they're worried that, and they're doing well, but they are worried that people abroad are going to ask them for money. Come on, you know what? Live your life. Live your happy. You know, no apologies. No apologies. Help where you can. Help somebody. I keep saying that. Help somebody. Help someone who will never help you. But then again, be smart also. Be smart. Secure your life and that of your children. Okay? Bye. See you.